Yeah, a little bit too common though. Think about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fair. It's a bit too new. Doesn't quite have that 10 years of shelf life on it yet.
Yep. I concur.
So, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty sweet catch. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought they just used the M9 like everyone else.
Oh yeah, they did until they're like, we're the Marine Corps, so we gotta have the OKC3.
You gotta be different.
3S, yeah. I mean, it's a sweet blade. I'm not gonna lie, it's a sweet blade. But here's the thing:
work on like all the armies, like A3s too.
The Army doesn't have A3s.
Same.
Army doesn't have A3s. The Army has A4s and M4s.
I thought
literally the only branch that actually. No, the only branch that actually has a lot of A3s or had was the Navy.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Because in Canada, that was like all that we had was like A3s. The
C7
C7 is an A3, so yeah.
Yeah, it's full auto. It's an A1 with A2 features, making it an A3.
Yeah.
It's full auto. Yeah,
it doesn't have any burst. Yeah.
Right. No, and I get that, but like. No, the A3, and now they're going to the M4 A1, which is, they've always existed, but they, I had an M4 when I was in, so it was, safe semi-burst, and then they went to the M4 A1, which is safe semi-auto, which makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because I know the U.S. is real big on burst there for a little while, and then.
That was so fucking dumb. Like,
yeah.
Even our drill sergeants in basic.
Behind it, but it's not.
No, I don't even understand the logic behind it because, like, so even our drill sergeants are basically like, you will never fucking use burst. Like, if you're using burst, you're fucked.
Well,
it's just a waste of ammo. It's inaccurate. It's dumb. It's fucking stupid. Like,
wasn't it? Yeah. Didn't it come out in like Vietnam with that whole hit probability thing?
No,
like if you're shooting multiple projectiles.
No, this is post. It was post Vietnam. Okay. It was post Vietnam, probably by Vietnam vets. In their infinite wisdom, coming up with shit post-Vietnam during peacetime. Like, how do we prove our relevance? Oh, well, we use this much ammo. It's like, well, yeah, it was actually the Marine Corps that came up with the burst.
The Marine Corps and all their weird shit all the time,
And they're like, well, if you need to suppress the enemy, you can use burst and all that shit.
Why not have full auto then?
Because it wastes too much ammo, according to them.
Okay. So how is burst any different other than you're just pulling the trigger?
Right. So you're talking military logic here, the biggest oxymoron of them all.
Yeah, fair. But I thought it was like the burst fire came out from all those trials the military was doing back in the 50s, where like they came out with all those weird rounds where they were putting like multiple projectiles in one rifle case where they like stacked them.
Yeah, no, well,
it was all about like hit probability. Because enemies expose themselves for a small amount of time, and if you can get off more shots in one trigger pull.
No, I get that, but like I don't know.
Yeah, because burst has a faster fire rate than the automatic mode. So I think the goal was to, instead of like making weird ammo, you could still use your semi-automatic and have a precision round.
Okay, so anyway, regardless of where it came from, the Marine Corps actually fucking convinced the DOD to adopt a fucking rifle with burst instead of auto.
Weird.
And it's like, it's so, and but here's the thing: is the U.S. was the only one, like the MP5 has got burst on it, and it's like, who the fuck would use that? The MP5's like main kind of purpose or intention of purpose was like close quarters, right? Like room clearing, room broom. Right? CQC. It's a submachine gun, right?
Yeah.
So why the fuck would you want a 3-round burst on a fucking firearm that you're going to be less than 5 yards or meters away from your enemy? You either want semi or you want full, right?
Because all the standard rifles have 3-round burst.
But it's not a right. Yeah. Anyway.
But that's probably why the MP5 got burst, because the M16 had burst. That's the only reason.
We don't know. I actually don't know that, but like it could have been.
Yeah.
But
it was just that standard thing across the board.
Yeah, it was just I don't understand that shit. So, all right, but I think we got enough people watching now. So here's how it's gonna go. Devin and I are gonna talk about kind of helmet collecting and how we got into it and why we got into it. And then at the end, towards the end, we'll take a look at the super chats. We'll address them because there's going to be a lot of messages and stuff we just kind of can't keep up. And then, yeah, that'll be it. Got anything to add?
No, that sounds about right.
All right. So, transitioning from how stupid Burst is and was and is. So yeah, like why and how did you get into collecting up in Canada, or was it after that?
Well, it was pretty young actually. It was like 5 or 6. Technically, I got my first helmet, and it's because I have such a square head. Couldn't find a bike helmet that fit me really well, so I had to go otherwise. So Dad digs around in the garage for 30 minutes and finds this old like Vietnam era M1 and slaps it on me because it can be adjustable to any head shape basically, instead of like that styrofoam that you have to cave in over time.
Oh yeah.
Or whatever, that really dense styrofoam that they make bike helmets out of in the 90s. So slaps this thing on me, and that's kind of what started it. I still actually have the shell. One of the bales is missing, has no chin strap left. It's been like 15 different colors because I painted it like 18 different times. It's had so many dents caved into it and then hammered back out of it again, and more dents put into it. And then the liner fell apart probably when I was like 12 or 13 years old, just disintegrated after so many years of me using it and just almost caving my head in if I wasn't wearing it. And I still now I just use it to put like change in and junk parts and other stuff like screws and stuff that I might find a use for later. But I still have it, and but yeah, that's kind of what started it. I had an interest. It really didn't pay any mind to me until I was probably like 15 or 16 years old, and I was looking at it and like, that was a pretty cool thing. I bet I can get more of those. I was looking to get another M1 that was just like the one I had, and found one. But it wasn't my first helmet purchase. This was actually my first helmet purchase that I bought. And it's the Swedish 2118. So, but, and
that's a sweet first purchase.
Yeah, I got it for way cheap. It was like $4 or $5 or something like that. And still got the original liner in it. It's got the new chin strap on it that they put on them, but it's got the original liner in it with the metal band and the little C clamps that hold it on. But
for sure,
had it ever since. So, and still got it. Still got my first helmet, and it's not the most comfortable thing. And I didn't beat up on this one. I wore it a lot, but I didn't ever damage this one like I did that first M1. But it kind of spitballed from there. I was like, this is cheap as hell. And I'm like, they're kind of nice to put on display. I had this big dresser. My TV sits on it now. But I used to put them all on the back of my dresser, and I'd have like my wallet and my keys and stuff on the front part. But like in the back, it was like just display space because I didn't need the whole dresser top. And then eventually helmets just kind of made their whole way across the dresser. And then eventually they started to get stacked up, and as I could find them just for cheap when I was getting anything I possibly could for way cheap, because it was a neat little thing because, I couldn't really own any guns at that point. I was too young.
Same.
A cool way to get involved into history, without having knives, because my parents probably would have freaked out a little bit had I been running around with shit tons of swords, basically, And
slicing the shit out of yourself.
Yeah, helmets. Yeah, basically, I probably would have ended up gutting myself, but in some way or another, falling over on one or whatever, doing something stupid, or cutting my hand off, or
trying to hit a tree and it rebounds and fucking
throw it into a tree and it comes back and hits me in the face or something, and I'm blind. But so helmets were a cool way to like get started into collecting, because some people look a little weird, but everyone's got a cool story behind it, and they're just as iconic as the firearms and the bayonets and all the other stuff. But you don't need any special permit to get them. You don't need to be a special age or anything, as long as you can make a purchase online, basically.
Right, exactly.
Permission or something, you can start collecting, and that's what kind of started it for me. It was the the most reasonable thing I could get at my age to start collecting, and it continues to this day. Still buy them.
For sure.
So it's not the most.
How many do you think you have?
How many do
How many do you think you have?
Like complete helmets?
Just a guesstimate.
Complete helmets
complete,
or shells?
How about this? Complete unique helmets in your collection itself, not just the ones that you can sell and all that shit.
Unique helmets. Probably, well, I got rid of a lot of my weird shells and like Battlefield relics. I used to have a lot of those. And so probably like 150-ish. If I had to take a rough guess. So
what's the most expensive helmet you own?
Probably those ECHs. So
that's it.
Well, they're like $1,000.
No, they're not. They're $500-600 to buy them on eBay.
Yeah, but the ones on eBay are factory seconds that have defects in them, or they're used.
Yeah.
A lot of them that I see go to eBay are ones that have rejection tags.
Maybe.
So
I've seen a lot of them that are used and acquired that are sold for $500-600.
Yeah, the used ones. Mine are all new.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's probably what it is. But or otherwise, if we're going my like probably most valuable helmet, it's that Russian Solberg. As far as like historical,
the actual with the green paint and all that shit.
It's got a lot of the original paint on it still. And I put a liner that I made in it and a chin strap that I made on it, and I clear coated it. I didn't touch any of the paint or anything, but I just clear coated it so it wouldn't rust or degrade any further. And now it's a cool display piece. So,
well, at least you're not putting a fucking reproduction high quality liner in an original M42 shell, because God forbid.
Yeah, I know, right? But hey, my stuff wasn't associated with the Nazis, so there isn't tons of fangirls over it.
Right.
So,
Jesus Christ.
And there's most of the people that go out to say Solberg, they're gonna have no fucking idea what that is. So.
Right. Yeah, but they'll complain about me wanting to put a new liner that actually fits and doesn't like fracture my skull when I'm wearing it like it is right now.
Yeah, there's no problem.
They're gonna,
it's your helmet. Do whatever you want.
If it was my helmet, well, first of all, it's fucking not your helmet.
Yeah.
Second of all, okay, I was talked out of like repainting it. That's valid. The liner thing, and then I just got a comment earlier.
The liner literally doesn't have any value on the helmet, really.
No, but it's so original. Well, it still decreases the fucking value, and I'm probably never going to sell it. Like, here's the thing, and then I got a comment of, who wants to wear an original helmet? Hey, guess what? I'm a fucking nerd. I do.
And most hardcore reenactors and a lot of other people actually
want the original. I've been convinced to keep the liner.
Yeah, I always keep all the liners. If I take them out, that's something I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was going to sell it for the band and all that shit for somebody that wears a size 58. I'll keep the liner, okay?
Yeah.
Ooh, that was nasty. But no, it's like, I don't know.
I get it, and it's your helmet. You do whatever you want with it. It's yours.
Well, and I've already got.
They wanted it. They should have bought it.
Right, and I'm like, well, the last guy got kind of pissed off, and I was like, I'll sell it to you for $500 if you don't want me to do this.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would have done. Well, give me an offer if you want it so bad. I'll get rid of it. So if you pay more than what I paid for it, I'll turn it for a profit. F it.
But no, it's like, yeah.
I get it. So I've had people do that too. So
it's just like, dude, whatever. But
yeah, like I had that West German 52 style helm, and the liner was just dry rotted in it, unusable.
Don't take it out. Don't replace it. Don't put a better one in there. You're going to destroy a piece of history that nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, that nobody gives a shit about because it's a West German style helm, so nobody cares and nobody wants them anyways. And so I took it out and I put a liner in it because I'd rather wear that if I'm out being stupid, doing a reenactment or something, than an original M40.
Right.
So, because it's like, I'm not going to feel as bad because it's literally made on the same machines and it's the same steel and everything's the same, and but it's one that people don't care about. It's not like I'm really ruining an important piece of history. Oh no, I'm ruining a fireman's helmet and a border guard's helmet.
Right.
Yeah. So
I do kind of want to fucking take something like this out though and fucking do a ballistic test, but the inner me is like, and
no, it would be cool to see, but like,
I just want one that's like so shitty but like still intact that nobody would feel bad. Like that's why I want a Japanese Type 90 shell too. Is like
but like in the end, it's a World War II steel helmet. They're all gonna perform relatively comparable.
But we want to know exactly. Like, and here's the thing: is like the one helmet that you take to test, that's worth more than it in its original configuration. If you think about it, because it's documented. It's documented.
Yeah.
You know, and it's documented about what it stops, how it stops it, what it looks like, and all that shit. And that's for I'm not for destroying history at all, but like for the purpose of furthering history, okay?
Yeah.
I can understand why somebody would want to do that.
Exactly. I mean, it's one in the grand scheme of things, and nobody ever has to do it again.
Right. No. Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody can sacrifice one for that wealth of knowledge.
I have a feeling that Japanese helmet would do pretty fucking well, though. Honestly,
I hear it's actually comparable to the Swedish 26. Almost like they're based off of each other.
No, it's a way different steel. It's a lot heavier and more dense, and just feels different.
Yeah.
But I know the joke of what you were saying, but like, it's shaped differently. It's just a solid goddamn helmet. Like I think I've handled a shell before at a gun show, like way back when, and it just didn't kind of sink because it wasn't complete. But when you actually, like, with this one that I just bought, like, that's a solid fucking helmet. I didn't realize how solid they were. I thought the Japanese made shitty stuff, and then I was like, well, the Arasakas, the rifles are really good.
Yeah, the only shitty crap that they made were really their vehicles, other than their planes.
Well, their vehicles are just outdated. That's the thing. It's like,
but like they also didn't rely all that heavily on them either.
Right, and that's the thing is like their vehicles they're ground vehicles, which should be specific.
Yeah.
Because their planes were really good.
Yeah, the Zero was the greatest plane in the war until basically the jet engine came out.
Right. So. Yeah, but no, so and then this Japanese helmet, I think because of the type of steel they used, I honestly think it would actually deflect most of the fucking World War II pistol rounds.
Do you think it's like a harder steel or is it a softer steel?
No, I didn't watch the video. Awesome, gotcha, bitch. But I don't. It's fine. It's a 4100 or it's a 4000 series steel.
Okay.
So we don't know exactly, but it's extremely strong, not easy to weld, which is why they riveted the shit.
True, and it also goes down to did they hot form it or is it cold formed? That is a big factor.
I couldn't find any of that shit, but like hot press, hot rolled, cold rolled, But it's also it's just a better steel. Like manganese steel, it's flexible, but it's really soft, like the US shit.
Yeah, well, it's meant to be cheap and easy to manipulate. So
right, and but the Japanese they use basically it's the same. Like in the video I said, it's the same type of steel that M4 and M16 barrels are made out of nowadays.
Really?
Jeez. Yeah. No, I'm not, dude. That little helmet, it's really heavy and dense for what it is. Like,
okay,
if you look at how thin it is, it's insane. I don't think I've ever actually been that impressed with a steel helmet, like going, now it's gonna be, oh wow, and I'm like, fuck, this thing's like beefy. I mean, I don't think it'll stop a fucking 30-06 within.
No, I mean, there's probably enough documentation out there from people getting shot through the head that they could find.
Right, but here's the thing: is the design. Like, here, I'll just grab it really quick. So the design itself. Ooh, there's a magazine right there. The design itself, right? See, look at this. Yeah. It's actually pretty ingenious. Like, so for an overhead blast or a blast at all with the concussion.
Yeah.
Deflects it away from the fucking head.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like, I mean, it's oval shaped and all that stuff, like I was saying, but that's a really good design. And this thing is I mean, the steel is it just feels a lot better than like even the German helmets.
Well, I never thought the German helmets were made out of that grade of steel to begin with, but they weren't. People just have this thing that they think they are, but
right. And here's the thing: is I don't know because I don't know, but I found a website with this. The guy actually had the metallurgy of what kind of steel that was, and obviously I'm not a fucking metallurgist and I'm not a welder or any of that shit. But I understand, like, 1200 is like basically your average steel that's used in everyday materials. 4000 series steel, that's pretty serious shit.
That's some pretty heavy duty stuff.
Right. And it's got, I mean, they've all got different properties and everything.
True.
And that's why, again, like I said, that kind of steel is hard to weld.
Yeah.
So that's why they just punched holes through it and they riveted it instead of welding.
Well, I wonder if it's like all the other Japanese stuff where you got a really early one and it's made out of that nice of steel. I wonder if the late war ones were that nice.
No, it's not. They with the Type 90, like the actual combat helmets. So here's the thing: is they had a bunch of experimental types. I was gonna say experimentary, but I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? So experimental types that were made into civil defense helmets, and they also had a bunch of civil defense helmets.
Okay.
Made. The Type 90, like the actual combat helmet, like that one, I can find no records or people saying that they fucking went with lower grade steel or anything at the end of the war. Like the rifles, they actually didn't go to lower grade steel. They just went with aesthetic cuts.
Yeah. Okay? They just really, A lot of people think that the last ditch Arasakas aren't safe to fire, but they're actually
they got so much
fire as all the other ones.
Right. They got so much fucking steel.
Yeah.
And coal from Manchuria that they didn't have to cut corners at the end except for aesthetic shit.
Yeah.
Production value.
Yeah.
Right. Like they didn't have to cut like quality as far as quality goes and integrity.
Yeah.
I think, and because there's no way to really tell if a Japanese helmet, like a Type 90, an actual proper one, was made late war or pre-war or Manchuria era that I know of. There could be.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, there's no way to tell on the helmets. Unless they've got like, a canvas lining, but that could have also been done post-war and used in the very brief period the Japanese army used.
Yeah, before they got M1s.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that's another reason why they're so fucking mystical. And I'm really glad to have fucking gotten this one.
Yeah,
like that is a fucking holy grail of a helmet collector.
Yeah.
Along with a Polish
rare unicorns.
Well, a Polish WZ-31 is next on my list, and
good luck.
Danish M23 and a Dutch M34. Out of all those, the easiest is going to be the Dutch M34, and that's still going to be about $500.
Yeah, definitely.
For a proper one with the crest and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's going to be kind of
like a proper Danish M23 is going to be $500 to $800.
Yeah.
Like with the like really textured gray paint and the badge, all original, $500 to $800.
Yeah, I got my feelers out even with the people I know in Denmark, and they can't find one even.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, even in Poland, people that I know are in Poland, they're like, saw him under a helmet. It's fucking.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
like even in Romania,
the shells,
right, but here's the thing: is like in Romania. So I've got a couple people that I do business with over there. To get the M39 that I have, the Romanian one that actually has the original World War II liner, that was a bitch for him. Like that was a fucking like.
He had to do a lot of asking around.
Most of them got melted down or updated.
Yeah. To where you don't see that. There's a lot of helmets that are like that. They just didn't survive refurbishments, or like it's free steel and the government just melts everything back down to make new ones. Right. Steel's not hard to recycle. You just add heat, and we
gotta figure out what kind of steel it is and all that shit. But still, I mean, that doesn't take it fucking.
Yeah, but there isn't especially with the Germans and stuff like that. Their World War I helmets are no different steel than their World War II helmets. They just melted the fuckers down and remade them.
I don't know.
So at least to some of them. I mean, you do see like M16s and M18s in 1945 with last-ditch troops, but
No, that's a different subject. But like, as far as the steel, I think it was different than the World War One steel.
Close enough, though.
Pretty sure they did something to it though. Like, I don't know.
I know the World War One ones were cold rolled, and the World War Two ones are hot pressed. But
no, the World War One ones are hot pressed too.
Okay.
That's why they couldn't produce enough of them.
Fair.
Yeah, they're both hot rolled, hot pressed steel.
Okay, that makes sense now that you say that.
But it's a type of steel. It's a type of steel that I'm pretty sure it was different. I mean, again, I want to get it right before I say what kind it was.
Yeah.
But I'm almost positive they improved the steel to be stronger by a margin, not that much.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Fair. Or maybe it's just one of those things where metallurgy came so far in 20 years that it's.
Well, I don't think it did, but it was just like they technically changed the recipe.
Or I wonder if it's or I wonder if it's the same recipe, but the quality just went up because technology went up.
And they weren't fucking blockaded at the beginning.
Yeah. So.
Could be.
Yeah. Stuff to figure about. So. But how did you get into helmet collecting? You forgot to do your whole spiel.
Oddly enough, it was because of the same fucking item, a Vietnam era M1.
Weird.
I used to do work for my dad and some of his friends. Not like sexual work. Don't get excited, all you fucking pedos out there. But no, I used to do like work. I used to like fucking, go out and trap gophers and all that shit. And, rig gardens, weed gardens, all that stuff. And
shovel snow.
Just work. No, actually, it was mostly in the summer. Sweet garages. And anyway, so I got enough money, and Sportsman's Guide had a US M1 helmet in it for $10 plus shipping.
Yep.
And so I fucking worked enough, saved enough to grab one of those, and my dad ordered it for me. I had to wait 2.5 weeks. It was literally a mail order thing.
Yeah, back in the day, like
catalog. Yeah, this has been like 97 or 98 before the
very early dawn of internet.
Oh yeah, before we had the actual internet. So got the fucking helmet. Was obsessed with it. Obsessed. And it wasn't even I look back on it now, and it had a World War II liner in it, but the shit they put in it was nylon civilian straps or whatever, but it was whatever. Don't even remember. I think it might have been a rear seam. I can't remember. I don't have it anymore. Yeah. You have your shell.
I have my shell.
I don't know where the fuck mine went. I think the neighbor kid stole it when I moved. I really do, but whatever. But anyway, so after that, it was before that happened, before it got stolen. Okay, I love this fucking helmet. I'm watching Patton and little military history minds jerking off, and I'm going to fucking the library and checking out books about World War II. All of a sudden, it's I want the Swiss helmet. Well, I wanted a German helmet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want a Swiss helmet. And they were also, those were $12.
Yeah, cheap as
and
yeah.
Yeah, a Swiss M71. So I ended up getting that, and it smelled like all the Swiss fucking leather liners do. And I remember that smell. And I wore that, and I remember in the shadows, I could put my head up like this, and it looked like I was wearing a fucking German helmet. So I was awesome with all my friends. I'm like, this is as close to a German helmet as we're going to get. And it was just insane. And then ended up getting more and more, just working and working, buying them on eBay when that became a thing. Sportsman's Guide. Got an M18 for I think it was $10, back in the day.
Yep, I remember that. One of my first, Swiss helmets was the M18 40. I got one for $10 back in the day.
Right. Yeah, and it's At that point, that's another one that got, I'm pretty sure, stolen by the neighbor kids. The M1 and the fucking Swiss helmet. Pretty sure got stolen, but can't prove anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, and I was playing Army all the time. Like, holy shit. And then I painted my first M1, I painted that fucking thing like probably 30 times, you know.
Yep.
You know, watching Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, and then 9/11 happens, and I painted this giant ass American flag on both sides, and watching To Hell and Back. So it's like, oh, third Infantry Division, repaint it, and then I like drew that shit on white out in a blue Sharpie. It's like, fuck it, eh? But so anyway, after that, I kind of subsided for a while and a few helmets and all that stuff, and then when I got back from Iraq, I had a lot of money, and I was like, okay, I want an Italian M33, so I ordered one from a place. Got it, and I'm like, well, shit, it doesn't fit me. I'll throw this bitch on eBay. I sold it for like 6 or 7 times what I paid for it. I'm like, oh, well, fuck.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm like, well, now I'm going to order 5 of them and then figure out if one fits me and then sell the rest and then pay for this and then maybe pay for the next helmet. And I got into helmets, I got into guns, I got into magazines, pistols, all that shit, like military surplus in general. And so that's kind of what snowballed into this shit. And it's like, well, I'm going to start a fucking business now to get one helmet that I like and sell the other 5, 10, 15, 100 that I buy to make a profit to keep going with this addiction.
Yeah.
And then it was like, fucking A, every fucking helmet possible. Trading, selling, buying. It's fucking amazing.
Working out deals, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I think I got an okay collection. It's not the best, but it's pretty fucking diverse and
it is pretty
fun.
Pretty diverse. You got a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just basically my whole spiel and story of the helmets. And I just think they're cool because, like you said, you don't need a fucking license to buy them.
You don't need anything special to get them, yeah.
And technically they're not really functional. You can't use them for anything except display, but
yeah.
Yeah. If you just joined us, thanks a lot. We're going to go through a little bit more of how we got into collecting and why we do it, and some cool stories about the process of collecting helmets. At the end, we'll look at super chats and we'll address those. But right now, I have to pee. So if you want to take over for about 2 minutes,
sure. Should we just go into the next thing that we got into collecting after helmets, like guns?
No, we keep it to helmets. But some cool stories early on about how you either fucked yourself or got a really good deal, or what, that kind of thing, like the fun.
Yeah, stories. I don't normally really screw myself over. I don't take a lot of risks.
Okay, but when you're just starting out, everybody fucks themselves.
I don't
know. Not
knowingly. I homework, and if I wasn't sure, I passed on it.
You also the internet.
Sort of, kinda. I did go to the library a lot.
Yeah. I guess that part won't be fun. I guess you want to talk about guns, so we'll talk about guns.
All right, fair.
Yeah, so, fun stuff.
We could do that. But yeah, I'll tell you about there's for a lot of the helmets that I found early on, like Mike said, it's a lot of catalogs. You did a lot of stuff in the catalogs back in the early 2000s and stuff like that. You pretty much ordered stuff from catalogs, and that's how we got everything where I'm from. Catalogs did it all. And and this is also back when Sears and Fleet Farm and stuff like that had a lot of surplus for sale. They really don't anymore, but you could just walk into Fleet Farm and pick up a lot of Cold War era Soviet bloc stuff for really cheap. A lot of Czech stuff was just hanging around. They had a whole section of just coats and stuff and helmets and bags and other things you could find. And so that's how I got a lot of my stuff too, is you'd walk down to Sears, or you'd get like the Sears catalog or something like that, and you would look through their like surplus section of stuff, and they would have a bunch of it laying around. So I got a lot of my stuff that way, was like literally doing chores and stuff like that and odd jobs to have my parents write out a check and send it in for send it into the catalog to get like a Czech helmet, or like a Polish helmet back when they were way cheap, stuff for like $5. You'd work for like a week to get $20 and you'd order like 4 or 5 helmets, back in the day, in the golden times of like helmet collecting. And that was how that happened. Eventually, when I got old enough, I morphed into buying firearms once I got old enough to be able to purchase firearms. And like most people, my first surplus firearm purchase was a Mosin Nagant. So, and that's probably why the Mosin Nagant is my favorite rifle, is because it was the first thing I could afford, and it was cheap, and ammo is cheap, and it's still cheap compared to a lot of other ammo. So, but yeah, it's to be fair, I got a really good Mosin Nagant pretty early. I didn't get stuck with a 9130. I ended up with a Finnish Mosin Nagant. So, but yeah, it wasn't. I didn't have to deal with that whole awkward, crappy garbage pick 9130 with its non-matching bayonet that you have to hammer onto the end of the barrel because it doesn't fit, because it's not for that rifle.
You also didn't have to deal with the garbage pick $70 Mosin where everything did fit great and it shoots like a motherfucker and it's amazing.
No, I got a Finnish Mosin out of the way right away, and still have it. So
still got about 20% of the Mosins I've ever owned.
Yeah,
but that's because I use them to trade up, man. Use them to trade up, like.
Yeah, well, you got them back when they were way cheaper, and now
that's what I'm saying, like $70. But here's the thing: is I've only had, I think, 2 or 3 out of the many 9130s that I bought and traded or sold. 2 or 3 that the bayonets just did not fit, and they were not good shooters and all that shit. Like, that's it. Out of like probably.
No, most of them are okay. Like the people that you find that are bitching about them either can't shoot, or they more than likely got, the small chance that they got a terrible one. But for every one of those stories you see, there's 10 of them that are, it's fine. It does what I expected to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, and by no means is the Mosin Nagant a good rifle. I mean, there's much better stuff out there, but
by all means, it's not a bad rifle either.
No, it's not a bad rifle, and I love it.
It's just it works.
That's all that it was designed to do. It was designed to work, and it's not like better stuff didn't come along, and the Russians tried that. They kept getting caught with their pants down, and they're like, "This is what we know how to make."
Yep.
They kept making them. And then when they get to the point where they could change rifles, they don't have any money, and they have millions of these things laying around. So there's no point.
Because the SKS came about, and they're like, it's funny. I questioned the whole thing about, like, so remember when they were talking about, like, when they first, like, gave the AK-47 to Soviet troops, and they had to collect every piece of brass and all that shit. It's like, well, what about with the SKS?
Well, that's because it was that thing that went back to, like, Soviet doctrine in the 40s. The AK was designed by the Submachine Gun Committee, and the SKS was designed by the Rifle Committee, totally separate, non-communicating with each other. They were given a round, and they're like, build a rifle with this round, and then the Submachine Committee was build a submachine gun with this round. That's why the SKS is different, but uses the same round, because the original intention...
Not at all what I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm asking you, why is the story that the people who were shooting the AK-47 were supposed to clean up all their brass because it was so secret and all that shit, even though the SKS was released in 1945 and used from 45 through 47?
Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
But there's a lot of setup to the story because it makes sense in the end. So, but like much with like how French doctrine was, the Russians wanted to have a frontline infantry rifle, like a longer, more accurate infantry rifle. That's why the SKS came out than the way it was. And the AK-47 was intended to eventually be like a kind of secondary weapon, or like for assault troops or squad leaders and that type of thing, And then the Mosin Nagant was always supposed to be the rear line rifle, okay, because that was the old rifle for truck drivers and stuff like that. So frontline troops would get a combination of SKSs and AKs. But then eventually they realized that after the SKS came out, that while this is pretty good, the AK was leaps and bounds ahead of what they thought it would be. So the whole thing was that they didn't want people to know about the AK or what round it took at all, because they didn't want people to know that it even existed ever, if at all, even though it's the same round as the SKS, because they didn't want them to know that this rifle was going to be in the same round that the SKS was. So that's why they had them pick all the brass up. But it ultimately ended up replacing the SKS because it was found out that the AK was good enough to fulfill the role that the SKS was intended to. So like, I think the SKS was a stopgap, but in all reality, it was meant to be a longer range frontline rifle with not as large a magazine, because detachable box magazines are expensive to make, obviously, and it was only meant to give to very, very important people, squad leaders, assault leaders, stuff like that, and just like the submachine guns were. So. Yeah, so it was just that whole secret squirrel thing. It was probably a lot more effort than they really had to put into it, but it's best to just cover all your bases. Because once one thing gets out, more people start digging into it,
Oh, yeah.
So, and the Soviets are always known for being pretty good at hiding.
Very honest.
Yeah.
They're very, very honest, very open up front about everything.
Great policies. But yeah, but that's the whole weird story between the SKS and the AK, because the SKS ultimately just got killed by the AK because the AK could do everything the SKS could, but still did a lot of stuff that a lot of the submachine guns could do. So.
Yeah, I love both. I love the SKS because it's a little bit less sloppy than the AK.
Yeah.
I also love the AK. It's amazing, and. Yeah, for those who are like, it's inaccurate. Well, maybe on full auto, but every fucking rifle's inaccurate on full auto. Like,
yeah, good luck.
Your first one, possibly 2 rounds will make it on target.
Fair.
Like when you're shooting at distance, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, when you're trying to do anything under pressure as well, like,
it's not you got adrenaline.
It's not gonna happen. So, like, I've never taken that as an argument too for like, oh, the AK is more inaccurate. No, they're not. There's stuff that could be argued for everything or whatever. Like if you're looking at papers, that people have got up and everything like that, but stuff can be different. But like when it comes down to anything under fire, it doesn't matter what you have because it's going to be not the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, so the SKS, I've hit targets at 500 yards with that thing, open sights, just willy-nilly. I've also done that with my AKs.
Yep.
And it's like, so semi-automatic, like, the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
Maybe full auto, but like the SKS, that's another factor too you got to think about is the SKS was never meant for fully automatic.
No.
The AK
was never even intended from, well, the AK was never really intended. It was intended to be fully automatic, but only in emergencies.
Right. That's why it's select fire. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not safe and automatic. It's safe semi and automatic.
Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, I like both of them. They're fucking great platforms.
But yeah, so it just comes down to, they picked up the AK brass because they didn't want people to know that the AK took the same round as the SKS.
It's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, but every government's done stuff like that, for no reason.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, it's like, it doesn't change the fact that it's fucking retarded. Like, how long did it take for us to realize they used this round? Oh, let's go to this country called Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like,
well, even in Korea.
And yeah, exactly. Yeah, Korea, they're using the SKS in limited numbers, but like,
yeah.
But that was after the fact that they were trying to save their rounds and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
But
I think it was it
down to like literally some commissar, they had the rifle committee and the submachine gun committee. All that these entities knew is that they both existed. They had no idea what each other were working on. So some guy, probably the same guy, goes and gives the rifle committee this round and a set of spec sheets, and they say, build a rifle around this. And then he goes to the next committee and says, build a submachine gun around this, and gives them the same exact paperwork.
Right. And then, yeah, here's the thing, too, is like, so when was the Hungarian Revolution? 1948, was it? Or was it 58?
I think it was 58, because didn't they have like a whole bunch of like 55 tanks, T-55 tanks roll in there?
Yeah, but hold on.
But that would mean it would have to be after.
Hold on. I think we had T-34 85s. 1956. Holy shit, even earlier.
Yeah, see, because I thought there were pictures of T-55s there. So.
But there were also T-34s, a lot of them.
Yeah.
T-52, 55, and 34 85s.
Yeah.
So, I know what's funny is, too, also people don't understand that the Soviets invaded Czechoslovakia in 68.
Yeah.
Because they weren't, going with the status quo of the communists.
They weren't Soviet enough. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, but the Hungarians, so 56, that was after the Korean War. Yeah. I don't know. The cartridge is cool. It's ripped off, of course, because communists can't make anything fucking original. They have to copy shit and try and make it better and mass produce it better.
I mean, to be fair, they did mass produce it better.
Well, of course, because it wasn't as complicated as the fucking MP44. Like,
yeah, but
and it's not all the same. Like, eventually, when I get a semi-automatic one, like that costs $5,000, for the channel, woo! I'll go into detail why it's not a fucking AK and why the AK is not a fucking.
They're completely MP44. Different operating systems, and they're made totally.
They're aesthetically the same because they both use a fucking necked round that's short and requires a curved magazine.
Yeah, and their profile is similar if you squint and they're 50 feet away.
Right. Yeah. It's like the guy in Saving Private Ryan that fucking, stabs Umpum or whatever. Or not Umpum, stabs Mellish. They're like, that's the same guy that shot Captain Miller. No, it's fucking not.
No, it's not.
They both had shaved heads. That's it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
People just aren't observant. And it's like, this is what you start talking about when you get into like actual like nitty-gritty of history.
Yeah, the devil is in the details. Like, you could just say anything, but like there's information to back up almost every single thing, and there's information to back up both points. Like, a lot of people could argue technically that the AK round is based off of the 8mm Kurz, but
I definitely believe that. I believe the concept was
that's about where it ends.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you go off that one fact, yes, the AK is a copy of the Sturmgewehr. But once you get into all the other parts, it falls apart.
Yep.
So, but people only go as far as making that first step.
Right. So, that's because that's easy. That's easy. You don't have to actually fucking. Yeah, we'll get into that eventually. So.
But yeah.
Yeah, as far as helmets are concerned, I think they're pretty fucking cool, and I'd encourage people to start collecting them because
it's a great place to start, especially.
It's unlimited. It's unlimited. Like, really, there's still helmets being made today.
Yeah, and
those guns that are being made today, you can't fucking legally own. So.
Yeah. Well, some places it's either or.
Where can you just go grab like a fucking HK416, like a class 3?
Oh no, I thought you said helmets.
Oh no, I'm saying like guns.
Like, some places you can't own modern helmets because.
Oh, I'm talking about the United States. Fuck the rest of the world.
California.
Like, your laws suck.
Armor laws.
It's body armor that's not helmets. I've actually never
ever fall under those body armor laws.
Nope. I read their fucking laws. It's
really?
Body armor.
I had a lot of people tell me that they can't ship Kevlar stuff into or out of California.
All right.
That could be just people telling me though, because they don't understand the law, or not wanting to risk it.
It literally says bulletproof vests.
Okay.
That's the language they use.
Bulletproof either, so.
Right, and that's the thing is like they literally say bulletproof vests. Okay. They're so fucking retarded. Yeah. They don't understand, But anyway, no. So California is like okay, like the entire United States with helmets.
Pretty much, yeah. You can get helmets just about anywhere.
The rest of the world, sorry.
Yeah. I know Europe can be, well, Mike's frozen again, but I know Europe can be, depending on your country, a little weird about helmets and stuff. So welcome back.
I was saying, well, I apparently froze. Yeah. I was going to say the rest of the world, fuck it. It sucks. Not my problem, dude. Sorry. I have to take that stance. Like, yeah. You can get steel helmets and all that shit. Yeah. Yeah. If you're fucking productive and you want to do your shit, move here. Yeah.
Right. Or if you want to get free $1,200 checks.
No.
So that's a thing. That's a good reason. You could buy a lot of helmets with that $1,200 check.
Or you could buy a fucking salamandra.
Yeah, fair. But good luck finding that. It's not having the money for it. It's just finding it.
Dude, I'm hoping at one of these auctions that I go to either in person or online. But there's one that goes old army helmet and it goes for like $15. I'll be like,
somebody has no fucking idea what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, helmet gods.
That's right. So.
And it's got the original fucking really rough paint on it and fucking the 3-pad liner in okay shape, the chin strap, and it's all original. It's like, no, can I get 15? I'll give you 20. 20, sold $20. It's like,
oh yeah,
it'll be one of those victories that makes it worth living.
Yep, I had that with like one of my firearms actually. My pattern 14 was that same way. It was listed as a 1917.
Yep.
And to be fair, they're very very similar, but looking at the markings and everything on it, because they're worth more than the 1917s are by like a few $100. It's not much, but.
Well, it didn't used to be that way, but now it is.
Yeah, they're retailing for between $600 and $700.
Well, so are the 1917s. They're actually they're neck and neck right now.
Okay, well, yeah, because like back when I bought it, it was pattern 14s were like $600 and 1917s were like $450.
Oh, pattern 17s have been that for a long time, dude. Like,
that was just a few years ago when I bought that thing. That's
what pattern 17s haven't been like going for that on average for about 6 years, 7 years now.
Really?
For an average one.
A ton of them for like less than $500. Selling actually. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's not the norm. Like,
yeah,
you have to go for like, I've looked at hundreds of them because obviously I love the fucking rifle. It's one of my favorite rifles ever made.
Yeah.
The pattern 17 has been for the past actually 10 years, going between $4,000 and $1,000 on average.
Okay.
Maker, condition, all that shit.
So yeah, everything under the sun. Yeah, it falls into that.
But the P14s from about 2010 to 2016 to 17, we're going for three to five, depending on like how good condition they were in.
Yeah.
Because nobody wanted them because they weren't used in the war. And now, well, actually about 2018, I saw the spike in price. They went up to be
they jumped up
neck and neck with the 17s. Yeah.
But I bought mine, and mine was just labeled as a 1917, but it's a pattern 14T Winchester, all matching parts. And so it was a sniper that was demilled, and I showed you mine. It has the marks because they used to solder the brackets onto them after they pinned them in place. And you could see the grind marks where they took the solder off the top of the receiver there. And all the markings are off to the side because they marked them right on the top. unless it was a T model, then it was marked on the side. So it's a T model. Mine's literally an X sniper rifle, and I got it for like $600. So,
well, yeah. Here's the thing: is that's a T model.
Yeah.
So even back in the day, that was retail for that. So you got it for a pretty good fucking deal, considering you bought it recently.
Yeah. So I bought it.
Yeah.
That would have been last summer. I bought that.
It was last summer we were talking about it. You said you just got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a pattern 14T, and like all the other pattern 14Ts I see going are almost $2,000. Even the X sniper ones. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, I mean, I don't know. The 303 and the 30-06 are both great fucking rounds.
Yeah, they're both incredibly overpowered for what they were intended to do.
Exactly, yeah.
I never got those people that's like, oh, but the 8mm rounds. No, it doesn't matter how powerful your World War I.
They're all comparable, dude.
Because they're all grossly overpowered for the 200 yards they were shooting at each other.
Right.
You know,
these things are made to shoot 1,000 fucking yards.
Yeah. When you have literal German doctrine that's like, oh, if they're within this range, you have to aim at their belt buckle to even hit them.
Right.
With your lowest sight range you could possibly get.
No, the battle sights, you aim at their fucking testicles.
Yeah, basically, in order to hit them in the chest or the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, aim for their belt buckle. Because that was a shiny thing you were able to see, because both the French and the British had those brass belt buckles on their equipment.
Yeah, but you're not going to see that shit past fucking 30 yards.
I know, but like that was their
fucking way.
Was like,
yeah, it's just like, you figure out the middle of the body, aim low, and then bam, you might hit it in the chest.
Yeah, because the rifle with the lowest sights in World War I, all right, is the Ross actually with 100 yards, and then the next it's the SMLE with 200 yards as the minimum.
Yeah, the late war German Mausers or the G98s had a 300-yard setting instead of a 400-yard setting.
Well, you look at the Pattern 14 in the 1917, their battle sights are 450 yards.
Yep. Oh, I know. I'm well aware. Trust me.
Jesus Christ. That's farther than most people can shoot accurately today.
That's why when we were shooting the P17 or not the Model 17,
the 1917,
the farm, it's like we had to aim fucking a whole foot low at 100 yards.
Yeah, just to hit that fucking 8-inch gong. Yeah. So it's and so it's like all the rounds are grossly overpowered for what they were intended to do.
Oh, absolutely. 8mm is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
30-06 is knuckin' futz.
Yeah.
303, fucking nuts.
Yeah, the only ones that had any sense between them apparently were the Italians.
And the Japanese.
Yeah, fair.
They went from a 6.5x50 to 7.758, which is almost identical. Not quite, but like almost identical to a 303.
Yeah.
But in a smaller, lighter package that kicks a lot less and is way more reliable and accurate.
Yeah.
I'd be partial to the Arasakas, but
yeah, fair.
But no, it's like
World War I with their little 6.5x52.
Dude, that thing fucking flies and it works.
It does.
It hits you. Your day is fucked.
But like, if you line up all those cartridges next to each other, that one looks like a little baby cartridge compared to all the other ones around it. So yeah,
it's like these fucking fuds saying, well, I only need one shot because I carry a 45. Well, how about this? I'll carry a 32 ACP.
Yeah, like I'll shoot you 8 times by the time you get a follow-up shot with your 45.
Or even just once. How about this?
Yeah.
I'll shoot you once with a 32, and then we'll shoot your friend or you again with a 45. See which one hurts worse.
Yeah, well, it's over.
Oh, you're gonna be dead by the time I fucking shoot you with a 45.
Yeah,
so it doesn't fucking matter. Because I've known of a lot of stories, and I personally know somebody who was shot with a 32 caliber fucking pistol, which I mentioned in a video. He was a police officer. He got shot in the neck with a 32 caliber pistol. His partner or his guy that was there died because he got shot in the leg with a 32 and it went up his carotid and fucking killed him. And this guy got shot point blank with a 32, ended up dying a few years ago after being paralyzed from the neck down for over 20 years.
Jeez.
But a 45, that's the only thing that can fucking make a difference, you know? That's the only thing that can fucking kill you.
Maybe if this is back in the cowboy days and you're shooting coked up whatever's.
Right. I mean, but here's the thing, is like
getting shot. Getting shot,
exactly. Yeah. And it's like, whether it be a 32 or a fucking 45, I don't want to get hit with either of those fucking things.
I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, you just don't want to get shot. Like, it's not a natural thing to be like, oh, I want to go out and get shot. These spuds, well, I only carry. Well, it's how sure are you of that? If I shot you with a 380 or a 32, and you're just gonna walk it off?
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of friends who are like, oh, 40 and 45. That's the only rounds I consider when it comes to a handgun.
Well, 9mm.
Have fun with your gigantic boat anchor of a handgun.
So, yeah, if you're big enough, if you're a fucking ogre like me, it might be okay. But I prefer a 9mm. Yeah. Honestly,
I prefer something even smaller, like 32, because I'm tiny and you're never going to use it. Chances are, right. I'd rather have something that's not as big of an inconvenience for me to lug around all day. So
yeah.
All right. Well, do you want to take over for this while I go to the bathroom then, for a little bit?
I can.
Sure.
I don't know if I authorize you to go to the fucking bathroom, but hey.
Well, I was nice enough to pay you the courtesy earlier.
Dude, you should already be pissing right now. Like, okay, you should have just fucking walked away. Good God. All right, yeah, for all you guys, we're going to try to do this stuff Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Some weeks it won't be all 3 days. But we're just going to try and also I'm not going to deal with shitheads like this guy. So later. Yeah, we'll try and do this stuff Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to kind of cover some topics that have been asked for in the comments. And just kind of shooting the shit and talking about current events. Sometimes it's not going to be like, a political rant session all the time of, oh God, Donald Trump, Drumfler, whatever, Hitlery. No, it's not going to be like that. But it might be just like, oh, well, here's some things that are happening here that might, is it affecting gun sales? Like, the reason ammo is so expensive right now is because of a political kind of shit show that's going on right now, and social shit show. Which I'd love to buy some 5.56 because I was never stocked up on that. And that's funny because, like, in the 2012 panic, I never had 22 caliber, 22 long rifle stocked up because I was like, go to the store and buy fucking 1,000 rounds for $20 or $15 anytime. It doesn't matter. And now I'm realizing the same thing. Like, every round that I actually use and don't stock up on, like 5.56/223, it's out of stock nowadays, which is amazing. Not like amazing in a good way. It's just like, wow, really. So my dumb ass didn't stock up. I mean, I still have got enough, but they're really good target shooting with that shit now. So I was just talking about the ammo availability and like how politics might.
Well, it's not going to matter. We're going to get all that Chinese stuff in a year.
Right. Yeah, I know. But I was just saying how politics may flow over into the conversation. It's not going to be like, Orange Man bad, Hitlery good, blah, 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 all that shit. But like, because of this shit that's going on, like, that's why ammo's expensive and guns are getting harder to find.
People panic and supply and demand.
Yeah, exactly. And while I enjoy the little off-topic thing, but while I enjoy a lot of the new gun owners, it scares me because you should know how to use it safely. You should know how to handle it safely. You should know how to store it safely.
Yep.
And by safely, I don't mean in a safe. I mean safely of, okay, you have a handgun now.
You can store a gun safely and handle a gun safely and not have a safe.
Right. That's the thing is, like, I want people to actually have access to their firearms when and if they need it. If somebody's invading your house, you shouldn't have to go over and have the biometric. No, it's right there. It's bam. That's good to go. And but whatever. So that's just kind of like one thing that we might be talking about in the future.
Yeah, that's definitely something we should address in the future, is like safe handling of firearms and how to go about storing and handling ammunition and all that.
Well, it's all opinion though, but like we'll definitely preface that with,
yeah,
it's our opinion. And we also don't have kids, so it's like,
that's fair. Well,
none that I know what I mean, like Right?
No.
Do you have kids? I hope not.
No. Well, there's about a maybe 2. Small chance that there's 2, but that's about it.
Fucking done it. You'd have probably heard about it. I want my goddamn child support. You got, or
I keep joking about it. No, it'd be one of those things where I'm like 60 and the kid's like 35 and they show up on my doorstep.
Your mom was too fucking dumb to file for fucking alimony and child support. Get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
God, I fucked a broad that dumb. God damn, was I a fucking ignorant fuck. You know?
Oh, God. But
yeah, that kind of shit too. Like the series is like, it's gonna be pretty cool just talking about shit, whatever.
You also got to do like what I'm doing. You got to do a series on like building a rifle.
What do you mean building an AR or what?
Yeah. Like
I don't know if that's allowed.
Just show people how to like get it down to its as base as it could possibly get components and how to put it all together.
Like, I mean, an AR is.
Yeah, but like for when I'm building my SMLE, which is there's the whole playlist on it now.
Well,
I got a very popular video. How
you're
to
a dumbass fuck that bought it in parts. That's not the world's problem, Devin. That's your problem.
I know, but I just was like, I'll document this whole journey.
Yes, absolutely.
That. No, and definitely. I got a popular video just showing people how to assemble a 5-piece SMLE safety and put it in the receiver.
How popular? 90 views?
That's about all my videos, so that's pretty good.
No, I get that. I just don't have anything to assemble right now. Like all the fucking good parts kits that I would like to assemble. Yeah. Like I want to get another fucking A4 kit. That fucking that's A4, awesome. Dude.
Well, like I went through the whole thing from like the unboxing to like eventually it's gonna be like I'm gonna do like here's how you put the bolt together.
You know? Here's the thing: is YouTube frowns upon that shit.
No, you can monetize that stuff now.
No, YouTube frowns upon that shit. Watch out. Dude, since I've started fucking making videos on YouTube, the TOS and the fucking authorized shit has changed about 10,000 fucking times.
And so far they flag it and I just manual review it and they're like, did you read this? And I check it and they go through and they're like, yep, you're good.
Yes. Okay. So had I.
Yeah.
A bunch of shit from 4 years ago. It was recently found to be in violation of the new TOS. I'm just warning you.
Yeah.
The problem with YouTube.
Yeah.
And so now they mention in their, checklist of shit that you have to do before you monetize something. Does it involve taking apart guns, manufacturing guns, all that shit? Well, it's going to fucking get more and more restrictive.
It's going to add more to it eventually, yeah.
This is why I'm warning you.
Yes.
Those are cool videos, but don't expect any monetization out of them ever.
No, I won't. And if worse comes to worse and they change the whole thing, I could just go back through and demonetize them all.
Well, they'll do it for you. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about it, but
yeah,
and so far it's the whole process and people are enjoying it. Even if it's not for the money, it's more just for the views.
Right, and that's the thing is like the only thing I've got right now it's a project gun is that the fucking Enfields.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna stew on that and get pissed off about that for a couple months. But the VZ52, when the mags get here,
yeah,
I'm gonna show how my neighbor repairs it. He's a gun guy. It's gonna be redneck repair.
Yeah,
it's not gonna be professional. There's people like, you should check out this guy's shit. I'm like, no, well, I'm gonna show you what it's like when you don't know about this guy's fucking repair shit. You don't have the know-how or whatever. And a woodworker who's a redneck like yourself do it, and we'll see how it works. And I'll have the redneck shoot it, just to make sure. Anyway, we're gonna do that thing, but other than that, the Enfields. Yeah.
What are your plans for the Enfields?
I'm waiting on the headspace gauge. It's honestly it.
Yeah,
I got the field gauge.
Trying to get here because I got the whole set because I only have the go gauge. So
I have the field gauge coming.
Okay, no, I ordered a whole set. I got the no-go, the field, and the go gauge now. So once they get here, they'll be here probably mid next week. So.
Well, here's the thing: is the Enfield's a great rifle except for the fucking action.
Yep.
The actions are really fucking weak and really, really finicky.
And the magazines.
Well, not gonna. I guess wood. This is laminate. I have not had problems on the fucking Enfield magazine.
Oh yeah, I've had some of them that work great, and they sorted. Yeah, but like a lot of them are pretty rough, and they require a little tweaking. Once again, after you tweak them, they're usually good for a very long time, sometimes forever. But like initially, I have to do a lot of fucking with a lot of Enfield magazines. So sit there with pliers and then just take dummy rounds and see how they feed and inject and just sit there for hours and then bend the feed lips another half a degree, you know. And
what it's on a scale. What measurement standard is your gauges on?
For what?
For the go no go field. Are they SAAMI, Sammy?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, same. That's not going to be a good enough thing for the field gauge. Like, we'll talk about it later. Sammy's different than the fucking British military's standards.
I just want to make sure it's safe to shoot is all. That's all I care about.
Same here.
And that's more than enough. That's close enough, tolerance-wise.
Right.
So.
Well, but it's, yeah.
It's not perfect, but it's close enough, tolerance-wise.
Look at I ordered a Sammy fucking field gauge, like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just want, if it's safe to shoot, like, I'll fucking shoot them. And hope to Christ they're fucking good shooters, and I'll make some videos on them, but.
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. So.
Yeah, I definitely lost on that Savage. Like, everybody's like, just get somebody to TIG weld it for you. I'm like, I have had 0 offers. So obviously there's not that many fucking people that
yeah. Yeah, I know what needs to be done to it. Does somebody want to do that?
Exactly.
Yeah. You could tell me everything under the sun, but that's not gonna make, you know, a snowball's chance in hell of a difference.
You know, looking at a fucking car that's got a flat tire. Oh, needs a flat tire, or it needs a new tire on there.
Yeah. It's like that meme.
Holy fuck.
Engine is made out of engine.
Yep.
So, but
the schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Yeah, once the full stock gets here for this whole thing, I have pretty much all of the parts to put this Enfield together. I'm gonna do it piece by piece by piece. Everyone's gonna watch it come together all together, and then hopefully the very first time I ever pull the trigger, it'll be on video, and hopefully it doesn't blow up.
We'll have to do a competition video of us standing at 100 fucking yards on a target.
True.
And if my American ass beats your Canadian ass,
do I get to use a Canadian rifle?
You need to use your SMLE.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. We use the same rifle, like.
Oh, so I get to use the one that I'm building that I get to shim and do everything myself and put the front sight blade on that I want and everything to make it actually
perfect. I don't give a fuck about your shims.
Okay.
Marksmanship at that point.
I feel fairly confident now. Let's do it. If we're doing the same rifle, yeah, but if I could sit down at a bench and literally sit here and tweak this rifle to know exactly how I shoot and get it to work exactly to how I shoot.
Bench shooting is for faggots and neckbeards. We'll go for fucking time. We'll go for speed.
Yeah.
We'll go for hits. Target.
But I mean that I get to practice with this rifle rather than just getting handed one, so I know where it's going to hit and I know what it's going to do and everything.
Yeah, I'll practice my Lithgow. Like,
yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident now. Then,
okay.
As long as it doesn't blow up, of course.
Yep.
So,
if it blows up, then I win.
That's true. We'll consider that a victory. We'll put this video's proof. If it blows up, it's Mike's victory, right. And he gets all my helmets. So,
let's.
Well, nobody else cares about him that I know about. So, it's either that or
definitely
gets him. But
it's 5 p.m. My brats are boiling. I'm gonna go throw them on the fucking grill.
That's right,
dude. So yeah, again, guys that just joined us. Decent amount of views. We're gonna try to do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. For now, we'll figure out some other shit in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody. didn't get any super chats tonight, so we're just going to kind of go ahead and sign off because like we just want to kind of make it fair for everyone.
How you get your stuff read.
Right. And we got so many fucking comments and shit, it's hard to keep track of. So, but in the future, we'll read super chats at the end and address them. But for tonight, it's going to be a nice light night. And dude, Devin, it's fucking beautiful out.
It's right going, now. That's literally what I'm going to do. I'm going to go outside immediately after the video.
I want to go outside and fucking grill some brats. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you on the next stream.